Okay, folks, it's been a really warm to hot day. On the, I think it's the 31st is today, or is it the 1st of August? I've forgotten. I don't know. But it's very warm for this time of year. Made wearing a mask outdoors a little bit difficult, but I was just trying to put myself through the paces to see if I could do it satisfactorily, because if we need to wear masks outdoors, we're going to have to deal with the issue of heat, and that's not something I find terribly appealing or bearable. So I thought I'd give it a trial and just wear my usual tracksuit tops, 2 layers and a scarf and a hoodie, see how we go. But it looks like COVID is hanging on until we get vaxxed. And this photocopier is running rough, as it usually does. Sounds terrible. But it's a nice day. We've got to try and be optimistic, folks. As much as we hate COVID and hate masks and lockdowns and social distancing and QR codes, we hate this shit. Anyway, this is what we're photocopying. I'll just turn it around to display it better. That's a piece of some kind of paper. Looks like some kind of recycled kind of paper. We're just going to put it on the glass. We're going to turn it up with this side face down. It looks really sculptural. So we're just going to put it upside down, and I'm just going to try and see how I'm going to make it look really nice. I think that should do it. And we're just going to photocopy it as a negative image. But yeah, it seems with COVID-19, everything we throw at it, it bounces back in our faces, and we screw down the rules hard and hard, and it doesn't seem to be working for us. Seems almost like a pointless effort, although it probably has reduced the damage that could have been done. Anyway, that looks shit house. That looks too fucking light. But basically, yeah, it just doesn't seem like we're getting what we want from this lockdown. However much it's prevented probably worse damage, as I said. It's probably put us into what would be just classified as damage control, but it's not actually stopping the spread. It's sort of gradually, sometimes it goes back down, and then all of a sudden it comes back up again, and it seems to be trending up more than down. I don't know how this is going to work. But yeah, it just seems to be trending up more than down. This COVID, it's really bad. Yeah, that looks a bit more interesting. Got more of the colour, but it still looks too wishy-washy. And it looks like we want to turn it, maybe angle it better. Although that looks like it'd be a good central part of this piece. I don't know what to do with this one, folks. Maybe we can hit the dot matrix button, and we're going to just angle this a bit, make it look a bit more interesting. I've got a gut feeling I'm going to have to squash it to make it look any good. Yeah, that doesn't look much better, actually. Looks a bit more darker, but it looks a bit more, I don't know, I like it in some ways, in some ways I don't. Just wondering if we could maybe twist it further. Looks very kind of minimalist. Wondering which effect we're going to use. I like this blue better than that, but then that looks quite nice. I've got to quickly get back to the equipment so I don't lose my precious settings. My intuition's telling me to run with it, even though it looks like a dead duck. But then I'm sort of, I don't know, I can't make up my mind. Anyway, that looks interesting. I do wonder, I don't like it really. I do and I don't. I do think maybe if I add a background colour, that'll add more definition to the entire image. So I'm going to go and add here a background colour. I wonder which is going to be a good one. Gonna go with pink. And I don't know how it's going to look. That's the excitement. That's the game of making art with photocopiers, is not knowing often what it's going to be like, because you're doing something so highly experimental and you don't know. You just don't fucking well know. Now that looks interesting. It still looks like only tops pieces close to the glass are looking good. I do wonder if maybe I should still twist it a bit, maybe bring that bit down and just twirl it that way. Twirl it that way. It's not an easy piece to work with, folks. Wonder if we're going to switch off this pink. Going to switch it off. Going to leave it at that, I do think. Pardon the pun, pardon the rhyme. With pink, think. I'm really missing a loved one, folks. His name is Luigi, and I'd like to marry him as soon as we get together, but we can't now because of this COVID-19 shit that's going on. Now that looks really quite nice. I do think maybe I could move it across. It's a nice shape for a mirror image. But basically I'm really missing him, and it really distresses me that I can't get in touch with him at this stage. But it's not just getting in touch, it's actually getting married. And you know, I don't think weddings are allowed at this stage, don't quote me. I tried to look it up on the Services New South Wales website, which has all this really useful information regarding COVID and other shit, and I just couldn't find it there, folks. But basically, it's really an interesting website to visit with all this shit to do with COVID, because you have to know about this disease. You don't want to get too fixated on everything to do with it, out of fear and out of horror. But if you can just stay informed, you know, try to keep a level head, folks, as much as it's really hard to do so, because it really is a problem. And it's really scary when we get the infection count and finding that the infection is all of a sudden shot up to say over 200, or and you're just thinking, shit, why do these idiots at that party or at that gathering do that? Fucking idiots they are. You know, you think that to yourself, for example's sake. And you think, if only it wasn't for the stupid limo driver in the first place, if he hadn't have made such a blunder by not wearing a mask and not being vaccinated as part of his job, it really, you think, well, what the fuck? But then it goes to show it's a very fragile thing, this dance, this tippy toes dance, as I call it, or tippy toes. And even if we manage to drop the numbers to zero, it just takes, as I said, just takes one idiot, and bang, we're in lockdown. And it really is a problem. And these idiots, I don't know. This is indeed a very minimalist piece. I don't know if I really like it, to be honest. I do and I don't. This wasn't an easy one. Trying to line up the little bits, using those bits there to line it up. Anyway, that's not a bad shape. I think now we can call this demo quits.